Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew? It's your boy DJ New Kid, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
The fuck you doing? You over here with the eyes closed and everything.
I was not having my eyes closed.
You was like these. Were you asleep?
No, I was trying to read them. My eyes were so closed. I was reading.
Looking at you, I'm like, why are my eyes closed?
My eyes were so closed.
Back on the channel, man. We got child celebrities who have terrible lives now, man. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people been talking on this subject matter recently. Yeah. A lot recently. We just saw a recent video. Unfortunately, somebody posted Amanda Bynes online. You remember? Mm-hmm. And they were like, saw my girl Amanda walking in the streets, and she was like, say hey Amanda, and I was just like, to be honest, that's disrespectful though. You know what I'm saying? Like just because you see them out, man, y'all know what's going on in these people's lives. You don't put them on social media like that for you to get your likes, your follows, and it's self-centered. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of them that deal with. Because you don't know what they really go through. Like, growing up, we used to always, man, I wish I could be a child star on TV. But you really never know what's really going on in their lives. We just found out about Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. Never knew. That was eye-opening, man. With that being said, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want to first support, we got other channels, man. Check them out. Also, if you enjoyed today's video.
Lock it in with a thumbs up.
That's how we know we should continue reacting to things like
Why
this.
Why you look at me like that?
You done messed up too many times.
No, I don't know my mind all over the place.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it.
This video will cover 6 child stars who had a terrible life after fame, and we're going to begin by talking about Jake Lloyd, who played Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Jake was chosen to play Anakin from 3,000 potential candidates and would perform so well in the billion-dollar movie that he won the best performance in a feature film for an actor under the age of 10. While this might have implied that Jake had a promising film career ahead of him, he'd appear in only one more movie after Star Wars, before announcing his acting retirement at the age of 12, explaining that he was bullied heavily as a result of the role. My entire school life was really a living hell, and I had to do up to 60 interviews a day. Other children were really mean to me. They would make the sound of the lightsaber every time they saw me, with this kind of harassment even continuing into Jake's high school and college experience.
You know how they can be in high school. They're so charming and intelligent. College has been similar. They wouldn't let it go.
In other interviews, Jake had been warned about the common path taken by child celebrities.
Child stars have had a bit of a reputation that they turn to, you know, a life of drugs, so may the force be with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yet this advice seemed to...
That's fucked up, bro. Society is so messed up in the head, bro. Because basically you just told him, well, you probably, 9 times out of 10, you're going to turn into a drug addict. So.
But hope you don't.
But hope you don't. Like, you didn't even have to bring that up, man. This man is trying to move and further on his life. Yeah. Obviously, he filmed that when he was younger than 10, bro. Yeah. He's in college now. His life is like, that's my past life, bro. I'm on to bigger and better things in life, man.
No impact, as his life began to go downhill beginning in 2015. Jake Lloyd has schizophrenia, stopped taking his medication, and attacked his mother. Indianapolis police were called to the home of Lloyd's mother, Lisa. She said the 26-year-old showed up and yelled at her, saying she ruined his life. Lloyd allegedly knocked her down when she wouldn't let him in the house, and stomped her 3 or 4 times, causing bruises and abrasions. He was gone by the time the police showed up, and she didn't press charges. Only 3 months later, Jake Lloyd found himself in a high-speed police chase, after which he'd be arrested for reckless driving, driving without a license, and resisting arrest, resulting in 10 months jail time in a psychiatric facility. 2 years after this, Jake's 26-year-old sister Madison died unexpectedly in her sleep, prompting the mother to release a statement regarding Jake's well-being. Jake has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but unfortunately he also has a symptom called anosognosia, which causes a lack of insight into his illness. This only adds to the struggle he faces, which has been very difficult after the tragic loss of his younger sister Madison. He has moved closer to his family, and we are all working hard to help him with this. He is still a kind and caring person, and we hope to have him back to his fun and entertaining self as soon as possible. Jake will continue to make progress with the love and support you continue to show, which is promising when compared to the life of Ed.
Society fucked him him up, bro.
That's sad.
Like, just from, and you know what it really is from the kid bullying? Jealousy.
Yeah.
Envy. A lot of kids want to be like you, so they bullied you because they looked at you having a prize.
Yeah, it's
like,
sad.
oh, you in a movie, bro. Like, oh, you like, come on now. You know, a lot of y'all, like, if y'all had opportunity, y'all would have died to play that role. Come on, bro. That's
progress with the love and support you continue to show, which is promising when compared to the life of Edward Furlong. After playing John Connor in The Terminator 2, Furlong began to mess with drugs, stating, "Hollywood effed me up, man. Lots of money and lots of free coke will turn anybody into a cokehead," with this addiction resulting in his first arrest for driving under the influence without a license. Furlong attended rehab as a result of the incident and was able to stay sober for a number of years. However, by 2009, at the age of 32, he was back in the news for punching his girlfriend whilst on drugs. 3 years later, Furlong was arrested again, this time for domestic abuse against his new girlfriend, resulting in a further 6 months in prison, where he'd pick up a meth addiction, although this story actually has somewhat of a happy ending. In July 2022, Furlong announced that he had gotten his teeth fixed, was taking better care of himself, and had been sober for over 4 years.
I'm much happier now, man. I mean, it feels so good to at least be doing the best you can.
Although this kind of happy ending has been
That's what's up. I like to hear that
I love happy endings, you know.
After hearing some of these so far, would you put your child into, you know what I'm saying? If they wanted to go to, like, being a child actor or into the, you know what I'm saying, that limelight, would you allow them to? Because nowadays you have different outlets. You don't have to go to Hollywood. Yeah. We see that now where, like, you got child YouTube stars that once they pop up on YouTube, then Hollywood come knocking at the door. We've seen that with a lot of them now.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends, because you do see and hear those success stories where, you know, they don't go down like those dark paths, and then you do see the ugly side of things. So I mean, I guess it just
I just hate when you got those child stars who can't break out from being a child star, and it's like no matter what they try to do, people only see them as this child star. Like, so the career success after that is kind of obsolete. Right. It's like, damn, bro,
like,
what do you do?
I was 9 or 10 then. I am 22,
Yo, you know,
23
somebody
now.
I never thought about who escaped that for real, as far as being image and focused on only as a child star, is Megan Good.
Oh.
Like, I failed to realize she was in a lot of stuff as a child. I guess because she never played, like, a major role. Yeah. Well, yes, she did. Yes, well, Cousin Skeeter.
That was major. Yeah.
Well,
I guess she wasn't it's to some degree, she wasn't the star of
like,
the
she
show.
wasn't like a Liz McGuire or Even Stevens or Sister. You can still
go back and see that, hey, she grew up, you know.
But she was still able to have because to be honest, I don't like, even with Sister, Tia and Tamara, only one of them had a more successful career as an actor beyond Sister, as far as transferring into adult life. Even though Tamara has did the talk show, I think Tia more thrived as being on the acting side, and I think she still had because their brother, he had some stuff, you know what I'm saying? She done had some things, but nothing equates to what, you know what I'm saying, Tia did after becoming an adult. You know what I'm saying?
To Drake Bell, whose life has only gotten worse every single year since he starred in Drake and Josh. In 2014, approximately 7 years after the show came to an end, Drake Bell announced that he was filing for bankruptcy, causing a foreclosure on his $2 million mansion. 1 year later, in 2015, he'd be jailed for 4 days as a result of driving under the influence. However, the real drama didn't begin until mid-2020, when his ex-girlfriend would upload a video on TikTok, making some pretty severe accusations.
Imagine the worst type of verbal abuse you could ever imagine, and that was what I got. It then turned into physical, hitting, throwing, everything. At the pinnacle of it, he dragged me down the stairs of our house in Los Feliz. My face hit every step on the way down.
Drake Bell would defend himself by stating, "I never abused my ex-girlfriend or did so many of the other things Melissa falsely claimed on her TikTok video. Unfortunately, we both called each other terrible names. As often happens, happens when couples are breaking up, but that is it. Although this response most certainly didn't put an end to the drama, as there was even bigger trouble just around the corner. An article titled "Drake Bell's Alleged Victim Accuses Him of Grooming" explained that he was embroiled in a legal battle for engaging in a relationship with a 15-year-old girl back in 2017. Things became even worse when footage of the trial was uploaded to YouTube.
How do you plead to count 2, disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, first-degree misdemeanor?
Guilty.
Let the record reflect defendant has pled guilty. The court accepts that plea.
And while he would plead guilty to child endangerment, Drake Bell would then take to his Instagram to insinuate that he hadn't done anything wrong.
Don't believe the media. If these claims were remotely true, my situation would be very different. I would not be here at home with my wife and my son.
Despite finishing by stating that he was at home with his wife, this relationship would last only 1 more year, as in January 2023, on top of everything that had already happened, Drake Bell announced that he was also getting a divorce. Considering he's acted in only 2 productions since 2020, it's safe to say that Drake Bell's reputation is pretty much finished, although he's not the only Nickelodeon actor with a spot in this video, as the...
Bro, so you know how, like, one thing we came across, well, hey, the media didn't put nothing out, bro. You pled guilty. Yeah. So we can only go by what you said, and as far as your guilty verdict, it looks like you guilty. Like, I ain't finna cop a plea deal. I ain't finna plead guilty if I ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Unless you... Some people, you know what I'm saying, they be like, I ain't got the finance to really fight the case.
To fight the case.
But you know, I can't hold that. That's a.
What you
I
say?
can't hold that on. No,
that's not gonna be on me now, y'all. Nah. Look, I'm gonna have to figure something out, but I'm definitely not gonna plead guilty.
Or do you have the money to fight the case, and that's why you caught the plea deal? So, like, you know what I'm saying? You had a good lawyer, so you ain't got to do no real jail time behind it. You know what I'm saying? And like you said previously before, I don't think you said it on camera. You didn't say it on camera before, but like we were watching something, you was like, how you know like certain things is true or not is because nowadays everybody are doing these defamation lawsuits, and especially with celebrities, they'll hit you with one with the quickness. Yeah. So if anything is a lie, they most definitely finna sue you for defamation. Yeah. And you was like, that's how you can kind of tell nowadays if shit be true
Cause you like,
or
if
false.
I'm not about to counter and come back, because I have proof that ain't true.
Yeah. And then I'm going to hit you with a defamation. Yeah. And I'm going to get some money, but... Because
that's definitely, you know, so but you, like, we can only go off of what you said and what it looked like.
So,
you know,
you know what I'm saying? Like, how you told me, that's how I look at certain things. I'm like, hey, they ain't hear nobody with a lawsuit sometimes. You kind of look at it a little sideways and be like, what's truth and what's ain't. Because, you know what I'm saying? If it's false accusations,
because even if I ain't got the money, baby, I'm going to figure something out. Because I rather
you know, old girl just sued. What's her name? Just sued for $1 and legal fees. Yeah. All she wanted her legal fees covered and $1.
Yep.
She said, you sued her for millions. She was like, I'm defamation. And I'm a countersue and I can hold my own. And all I want is $1 from you and you pay my legal fees. Because
I won't be here for one. Yeah.
That's cold though.
That was.
And that's not how you know you innocent.
And she walked out and was like,
victorious.
Pretty much finished, although he's not the only Nickelodeon actor with a spot in this video, as the life of Amanda Bynes has descended into an even worse version of hell. Despite having one of the most famous faces throughout the 2000s, Amanda Bynes would announce her retirement from acting in 2010, stating that being an actress isn't as fun as it may seem. If I don't love something anymore, I stop doing it. I don't love acting anymore, so I've stopped doing it. I know 24 is a young age to retire, but you heard it here first. She'd go on to state that the retirement was because I literally couldn't stand my appearance in Easy A and I didn't like my performance. I was absolutely convinced that I needed to stop acting after seeing it. However, this is where things began to go downhill rapidly. In 2012, 2 years after retiring, she was charged with driving under the influence and hit and run on 2 separate occasions. 2 years after this, she'd be charged with driving under the influence again, with her court appearance displaying a significant physical decline from just 2 years prior. In the process, Amanda would take to
Another thing I be wondering, because I kind of want to say that with the Drake thing.
Yeah.
Do they still like collect some kind of check from those TV shows? Like Drake with the Drake and Josh shows. I forgot the term. I'm trying to think of the term. Like residual checks. Do they still get residual checks?
I guess, does it depend on how the contract is?
Amanda, she had the Amanda show. She was on all that.
Yeah.
That's how you got Amanda, please.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Amanda made Nickelodeon a lot of money, so does she get any kind of residual checks at all for her shows?
Good question.
2 years after this, she'd be charged with driving under the influence again, with her court appearance displaying a significant physical decline from just 2 years prior. In the process, Amanda would take to Twitter to call Michelle and Barack Obama ugly, before stating that she and her parents were no longer speaking, which accompanied some absolutely wild accusations about her father, including the statement that he had put a microchip in her brain. After she'd also set fire to a driveway, Amanda was put in a mental hospital, after which her parents were given legal ownership over her $5 million estate, as Amanda has been spending large amounts of her savings. It has been reported that she's recently made extensive purchases as gifts from jewelry stores such as Cartier for strangers. Amanda Bynes was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and would attempt to get her life back on track by enrolling in fashion school. However, she was kicked out only 10 months later for showing up high and arguing with her classmates. In 2018, people assumed that she was back to her normal self, as Amanda showed up in magazines looking like this. However, within a year, she'd gotten face tattoos and checked into Alcoholics Anonymous, where she'd meet her new boyfriend who, according to Amanda, had just as many problems as her. In October 2022, she'd make another attempt at fixing her life by enrolling in cosmetic school, yet only 5 months later, in March 2023, she was sent to a mental hospital once again, as she was found roaming the streets of Los Angeles without any clothes on. Then there was Orlando Brown, who's
with the Amanda situation, it's so like all these situations.
Yeah, all of them are sad.
But like, especially like people who go through like what Amanda did and Orlando. Yeah. I'm like, who are the individuals that are starting to come around in their circle?
Yeah.
Who are the people that surround her? Because 9 times out of 10, like we just saw Amanda, her boyfriend at the
like you stated, got just as many, if not more,
the wrong
problems.
person to be in her life. You know what I'm saying?
Influence.
Because a lot of times in situations like those, the people that come in there in those people's lives are not coming to help those people. It's to tear them down even more because they are filled down. A lot of times it's like that. Like they're not looking. Sometimes they come in as a savior to them, or I'm gonna be your protector. And so they let them in, but they be the ones who want to rip you apart even more because they so fucked up in the head and they want everybody else around them to be messed up.
And to strip you down even more makes them feel, a little bit better about themselves. Like, no.
And the only thing she needs is people to pull her up.
People that actually truly love her and care.
Roaming the streets of Los Angeles without any clothes on. Then there was Orlando Brown, whose role as Eddie Thomas on That's So Raven ended with an equally terrible life. After the show came to an end in 2007, Orlando began to focus on music, during which his life was kept fairly private until he'd enter news headlines approximately 9 years later. Between February and March 2016, Brown was arrested on 2 separate occasions on charges of domestic violence, obstruction of justice, drug possession with the intent to sell, and possession of contraband in jail. In February 2016, cops claimed he struck his then girlfriend in the parking lot of a police station and was found by officers to be in possession of methamphetamine. Orlando was given a notice to appear in court, yet he'd instead flee to Las Vegas, where he was caught by bounty hunters.
You left California. It's a felony when you flee. What are you doing here then, brother? You got a warrant for your arrest.
After which things only became worse. A video was released of Orlando being kicked out of a friend's house after lasting only a week in rehab, which was followed by his appearance on the Dr. Phil show, during which he'd state that he'd been sober for 4 years, despite clearly being under the influence on the show.
I'm 4 years sober for a reason. I just now got out of rehab. I just now got out of ER. I'm not.
You know what the thing with Orlando sometimes?
Yeah.
I honestly sometimes can't tell if it's an act or if it's something that he's really dealing with. Because the reason why he knows he only stays relevant to the world when he's going through these things. Because even when he got clean, everybody stopped talking about him.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was like, okay, cool. He done got his life on track.
But if you notice, nobody was interviewing him. Yeah. Nobody was throwing him.
But soon a little something had hit that
he back on the drugs.
Back on
everybody was gotta have a, because then he comes out and starts saying
why he's clean.
He started coming out
the real him.
He did start coming out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Y'all talk about me interrupting her a lot. Bro.
I wasn't interrupting. I was just
you want me to tell you what we done got to the point where, because I really don't interrupt her off camera.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, let's talk about it. I'll be
no,
like,
let's not talk about it.
No, I'll be like,
see,
I'm talking. And you be like, I'll be like, see.
I'll be like, I understand, but let me just say this real quick before I forget.
But no. But the thing is, everybody wants those viral moments with him when they interviewing him. They be wanting him to say these bizarre things, and the reason why he doesn't get hit with like lawsuits or anything, because people be like Orlando on this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to he needs help.
Yeah.
And so people, that's the reason why I don't feel like people really attack him. Ain't because it's truth behind what he says. It's just people understand the situation. They're just like, I ain't finna, you know what I'm saying? Because he already down. You know, I can't push the brother down anymore. You know?
A week in rehab, which is followed by his appearance on the Dr. Phil show, during which he'd state that he'd been sober for 4 years, despite clearly being under the influence on the show.
I'm 4 years sober for a reason. I just now got out of rehab. I just now got out of ER. I'm not doing no more time away from my kids other than I need to.
As a result of this episode, Orlando would return to rehab and get clean before discussing his experience on the No Jumper podcast.
I had a 2-year binge of something that I should have never, ever indulged in.
Meth?
Yes. Those situations, man, they will never happen again based off of the fact that where I'm trying to go.
And while he'd end his statement by stating that those situations will never happen again, Orlando was back in the news approximately 7 months later in December 2022 after threatening a family member with a hammer. He's currently undertaking a psychiatric assessment to see if he's eligible for pleading insanity. Yet the most tragic story of child fame without a doubt comes from Judy Garland.
I was like, I know the name though.
Oh.
Have you ever heard the name before?
Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
Played Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz at the age of 16. Whilst filming the movie, she was prescribed amphetamines to keep up with the production's grueling schedule, as well as barbiturates to help her sleep when the day was finally over. The studio also required Judy to stay incredibly thin, feeding her nothing but soup and lettuce leaves whilst on set, which she'd explained led to a poor self-image. By the time The Wizard of Oz was finished, she was being prescribed amphetamines from 4 different doctors to keep her weight down and her mood up, although this lifestyle began to catch up to her.
Drugs, getting up late, coming in late to work, and it turned into a nightmare for everybody concerned.
She'd be fired from 3 different movies for intoxication and was constantly in the news for being completely broke. Her kids stated that the family couldn't even afford food at times, which accompanied angry slurred messages about being paid for work.
These weren't delusions. She was broke when she recorded this, and not movie star down to my last Rolls Royce broke, homeless broke. No money to buy food broke.
By the time Judy Garland was in her 40s, she looked about 15 years older, had been divorced 5 different times, and was performing in a New York bar for $100 per night. While Judy Garland maintained that she had never done anything wrong in her entire life,
the only mistake I ever did, the only harm I ever did was sing Over the Rainbow.
She would die of an overdose at the age of 47 on the exact same drug that she was prescribed during The Wizard of Oz, with her estate being worth a measly $40,000.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's sad.
They failed her. And to be complete, let's be honest. If y'all were doing it for her back then,
who else?
Who else did y'all do it for? And how long have y'all been doing it? And it's a possibility the reason why a lot of these child actors get addicted to drugs is because of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might have just realized
stories of so many things you would never know, really.
Because you got to realize a lot of these child stars might have like deal with depression or deal with these, and all of y'all want to do is, instead of like talking through them, try to understand reason why, is y'all just want to medicate them and medicate them, and then especially as a child, 12, 13, by the time you hit 15, 16, them drugs ain't working no more. And so I need some stronger. And then time I hit 21. I need something really stronger.
That's sad.
And then come 25, we laughing and talking about them online, talking about something.
Not knowing the things like, come on now.
And this is just the very bare. You got other artists and celebrities. Britney Spears. Yeah. We've all seen what she's been through. Lindsay Lohan. Yeah. We all seen what she's been through. The list continues to go on.
So many.
And it's and it's all like. What the hell is Hollywood doing to these? Or are they masking drugs and masking all these things to kind of escape from what really happened to them in Hollywood, because you never know what might have happened to them.
Because you do have some people that are not afraid to come out and tell some of their stories, so you have those stories out there. So who knows?
Never know, man.
Yeah.
The Hollywood is very. So again, would you ever put your? Because I don't think you blatantly gave us the answer.
I did answer you.
What'd you say?
Well, you had gave the example of even like YouTube children stars, and I said, well, it just depends on the situation, the platform, where is it, what it actually is, like what am I putting them in, like it just depends. Because I don't ever want to hold my child back from something that they maybe have a passion for or be good at, but at the same time, like I said, when you have so many of these stories like this, it's kind of, and things are only getting worse. You feel like, you know, that's hard to say yes to, you know.
Because you have some success, but you have a lot.
You have, that's why I was like, you have the success stories where you have the ones that have come, you know, out of being child stars, and they didn't have to go through like the ugly darkness, you know, that we know of. Yeah. But I don't know.
Right. Hey man, y'all spam us up. Y'all let us know if y'all have kids or in the future having kids. Would y'all ever like? Would you? I'm kind of in the same. Let me say this. I'm kind of in the same boat with you.
Yeah.
I would want my kids to pursue whatever they will make them happy in life, but at a certain point. Like,
yeah.
I still have to be somewhat. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that dadager or that momager.
But you still want to be hands-on and know what's going on. Yeah, most definitely.
And I gotta know everything. I know. Hey, your daughter, we're gonna keep you. Nah, I'm going with wherever my child's son or daughter. I'm going with them.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those. Yeah, most definitely.
But hey, make sure y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts and opinions, man. But I do go by the name DJ DJ. This is
we are.
Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar.